This is for anybody who's dealing with human conflict. Anyone who's dealing with any kind of human conflict that they wish to transcend, to heal, to get through, to get past. Here's the point first, and then I'm going to break it down. You have to get clear on where you want to go. So what is the end result that you desire, truly, from your heart, not from your mind, not from your angry head, not from your ego, like screw that person, I want to get them back, but about you. Where do you want to go at the end? And most of the people that find me want peace, want resolution. And so if that's where you want to go, if you want to get to peace, the second question or the thought that I have for you is you cannot get to where you want to go using energy or methods like control or manipulation or power exertion or anything that is not in alignment with where you want to go to get there. I'm going to give you an example. If there's a fire in your life and you want to extinguish the fire, you don't bring more fire to extinguish the fire. Now, this seems so obvious to most people, but when it comes to human conflict resolution, this is something that gets really lost. And the reason it gets lost is because when our emotions are high, our intelligence is low. And that's okay. We've all been there. We've all been in situations where we're emotional and so we can't think straight. But if you really genuinely want to get to peace, you have to align yourself to people and mechanisms that are in alignment with the water, the extinguisher, energy. Otherwise, you're going to blow shit up. Does that make sense? I was a divorce lawyer for 17-ish years. And now I help people who want to actually navigate to peace faster. But the real truth of this work is that there's no magic but self-responsibility. The magic is you. Sorry, this timer went off. The magic is you. And so you starting to align to peace, not only through your mind, your energy, but your choices of who you're going to get to help you to get there, of who you're going to stop talking to because they are out of alignment with where you want to go, of who you're going to talk to and surround yourself with, what content, what books, what energy, what resources, what are you surrounding yourself with so that you can align internally to the outcome that you want. So again, it's so obvious when we're talking about a fire. I remember, without identifying the case, I remember being in court one day, which was very rare, because in my career, I settled 99.9% of the files before they ever had to see a courtroom door. And if we did have to see court, quite frankly, I was almost always the respondent. My clients were always responding to somebody dragging them to court. And then we would settle it once we got there. And I remember being in a courtroom with a judge where the lawyer, with all due respect, was bringing fire. She was so tunnel visioned. Her client was in so much pain. And frankly, what I genuinely from the bottom of my heart believe is that when we as professionals do not have our own trauma resolved, unconsciously, we don't know that this is happening, we bring that trauma to other people's lives. And it's a very dangerous thing. And, we don't know what we don't know, and that's why it's even more dangerous. And that's why if you're feeling really angry and you're like, let's get them, and you don't even you're either consciously saying it or you're unconsciously saying it, you will draw yourself to people, lawyers, advocates, representatives that are in the let's get them energy, but that doesn't actually move you to resolution. It will give you the illusion that you are moving towards it, but I promise you, it is not. It is not. It just isn't. And so I remember we were in this courtroom and the lawyer was so embroiled in her client's position of pain that she couldn't see the other side. She couldn't see the counter argument. She had a real tunnel vision. That judge asked the parties to leave the courtroom. Imagine you're paying $300, $400, $500, $600, $700, $800 an hour. And the judge tells you to leave the room. I remember my heart broke because this lawyer's client did not make a lot of money. And I thought, good Lord, this is like her whole life savings. And the judge sat us both down. And frankly, and I'm not saying this because I'm bragging, she looked at the other lawyer and she was like, Miss So-and-so, I need you to bring water to court. There is a fire here, and you have brought more fire. And what you are not realizing that you're doing by becoming so emotionally attached to your client's situation that you are not thinking objectively. You are not, when emotions are high, intelligence is low. So if you, and I thought, this poor client has no idea what's happening in this courtroom. So sometimes people will say to me, like, oh, Rad, when I was practicing law, they would either say, are you a barracuda? Because my cousin, my sister, my dog needs a barracuda lawyer. Or if you're not, could you give us the information to a barracuda lawyer? And I would always say to them, you don't need a barracuda. You're already in a storm. You're already in a shitstorm. Where are you trying to go? Are you trying to create more of a shitstorm? Because if you want more of a shitstorm, then yes, hire a barracuda. It'll cost you money, it'll cost you time, and it'll blow shit up. That's not resolution. That's your emotion speaking. That's your pain speaking. And that's why I said from the very beginning, get clear in a quiet, sound, reasonable moment about where you actually want to go. And then align yourself to that. Find somebody who will do it for you peacefully, even when you're not thinking clearly. Find family members who will align the conversations that you have with them that are supporting you with where you want to go. Because if you don't, it will derail the process. It will derail the process. So getting clear, if you're in conflict, that the energy of more conflict will not get you where you want to go is the key. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but I felt so inspired to share this. It seems so obvious when I gave the fire analogy, but it's so the last thing people think. And I hear people in all their objections and they'll say to me, oh, but you don't understand. I'm dealing with so-and-so. His lawyer is like this. Her lawyer is like this. We have to come back with, no, you don't. No, you don't. That's a freaking illusion. That's an illusion that you think you can control people with force and get a peaceful outcome. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. I had lawyers who were so much more senior to me work with me. And I think one of the benefits that I was really blessed with was that I worked at very big firms at the beginning of my career. So I wasn't scared of them. By the time I set up my own practice, I wasn't scared because I realized we're all doing the same job. And I was mentored by some of the best in the country. And their advice is what I took. That's what aligned with me. And that's what made sense. And that's what got my clients to the resolutions that they wanted, was reasonable, always wins. Always. Even if in the short term it doesn't feel like it, you have to think about the long game. We're not trying to win by outsmarting people in the short run. Love is what wins. Reasonable is what wins. Kindness is what wins. That's actually what will get you to the resolution that you want. And in particular, the people that I work with almost always have children. So if you blow the place up, in the interim, what happens in the long term? to your kids. Because most often these relationships that we're blowing up don't end after the conflict is resolved. And in the examples I often give are the legal examples, right? But in any relationship in your life, there's always a residue of that relationship. And so the only way to get where you want to go is to bring the antidote. If you get bit by a snake, you don't get more poison and venom and pour that on. It seems so obvious when you talk about that way. So this is a wake-up call. This is a loving, gentle reminder for whoever needs it, for those human beings that I often get to work with who are aligning to peace and are looking to align to joy and align to love and to align to the highest part of them, which has all these aspects in it. Peace, love, joy, bliss is our natural state. If that's what you're trying to come back to, then every step you take and every alliance that you make in that process needs to line up with that energy. And if there's any part of you that is arguing with what I'm saying right now, because I'm an objection a minute kind of gal, I can handle an objection a minute, and I can hear them in my head because I've worked with so many people. I've worked with over 2,000, if I had to guess, people. If there's any objection to what I'm saying, it's healing that needs to happen within you. It's healing. It is anger and resentment and pain that is being misdirected in the wrong direction, turned into fire to throw at the other person, and that does not get you to conflict resolution. That fire, that pain needs to be healed. And that could be all kinds of modalities, right? The ones we all know. It could be meditation. It could be therapy. It could be dance movement. It could be a combination of things. It could be going to a retreat. It could be prayer. It could be going back to your religion, reading the Bible. It could be anything that aligns you back to that energy, that allows you some space and time to heal. But if you think bringing fire to the table is the smart thing to do because you're going to outsmart someone, I assure you, you need to sit down and rethink this. And I hope what I'm sharing lands with you in your heart, because I know if you're listening from your heart, it's going to make sense. It's going to make sense to you at a level that's beyond your mind. And your mind is going to argue with it, but in here, you're going to know that this is true. And so the question is, how do you align yourself here and stay here? And for me, it's daily spiritual practices. It's daily mind practices. Like it's daily clearing of my own energy to align to where I want to go. So more fire in fire doesn't get you where you want to go. Never, ever, ever. And it might feel like it requires some patience, but the beauty of taking a longer road is that while you're healing in this journey, you become somebody different at the end. You're not the same person that attracted that relationship that perhaps was, in hindsight, dysfunctional, and that's okay, because that happens. That's life. You heal along the way. Maybe you needed 2 years. Maybe you need 3 years. I have clients who are like, why is this taking so long? Maybe there's lessons here that you need to learn. And the faster you align with where your soul wants to go, where your heart wants to go, you align with it, you line up with it, the faster it will go. I love you. I hope this serves you. If there's anybody you think that could use this, please do send it to them. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a good day. I love you.